Today in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the exact system from my experience of scaling my wholesale company to over $300,000 per month, and also my experiences of working with over 150 students in the last 12 months to help them scale their wholesaling businesses. This system is all about getting you to $100,000 per month, and that's literally the job, and that's literally the step-by-step playbook that I will be showing you on the things that you can start to do from this system and implement in your business today. So when I hit $100,000 per month, this was in October 2021. And so it's been quite a while now. It's almost 2.5 years. And when I hit $100,000 in a month, I remember specifically it allowed me to have the time freedom and the flexibility to go and do whatever I wanted to do. So not long after $100,000 per month, I moved to Denver, started running the business completely virtually. My partner, he went to Europe for like 3 or 4 months, and we basically were not working, but maybe 15, 20 hours a week on just the things that needed to be tweaked here and there. And then just like basically having a good time in life. It allowed us to really become true business owners. And like I realized like the impact that hitting $100,000 per month does for you, because it just provides enough profit in the business that you have full financial freedom. You have full-time freedom. You can hire really good people in your team. So you don't have to like do all the little nitty-gritty tasks that you actually hate doing. And honestly, like I personally wasn't like a huge real estate guy. I'm not like a huge wholesale guy. Like this is not my passion. So I realized like if I can just have this business make me enough money to where I'm more than comfortable to live, I can do anything I want lifestyle wise, travel. I took 55 trips in 2022, which was like 110 flights. Like it's insane. Like I traveled literally all the time. Now, granted, was that exactly what I want to do? No, but it allowed me to live a life that was honestly super dope and that I've always wanted to live. And so that was so big for me. But what I realized is like my purpose and my passion was not just wholesaling houses. And I'm sure like for most of you guys watching this video, that's not what it is for you as well. You really have something bigger in your life, whether that's you want to coach and help people, whether that's you want to start some kind of other business that's a different passion. Like for me, like I love sports. I love adventure, and I want to be able to do that every single weekend. And I want to be able to give back to people who are doing the same things. I also want to be able to bring community together. So like now, because I've learned how to grow businesses to multiple 7 figures per year, I've been able to, one, do everything I want on the weekends. I never work weekends. 2, I've been able to travel anywhere I want, take any days off I want. So I love skiing. So if it snows, I'm just going to take the day off and go ski. Like, why would I not? I want to be in a position where I can do that. I also get the ability to coach people like you guys and share the knowledge that I've gained and to see it directly impact other people at a huge level. The other thing it allowed me to do is it allowed me to bring together a community of really, really cool people. And so, for example, I have someone who I know in the business world is flying into Denver, Colorado, and they're like, "Hey, man, like, you want to connect and hang out for dinner one night?" And I was like, "Sure." So what I did, because I've done a really, really good job of building together a community out in whatever market, whatever city I'm in, is I said, "Yeah, let's do it." So I sent out a couple texts, and now we have a dinner with 12 different high level guys who are doing 7 figures, multi 7 figures, and 8 figures per year, all going to come to dinner one night just to hang out at a super nice steakhouse and just have a great time. And it allows me to do things like that, with bring people together, because I now have value to bring to the market, which are going to attract higher level people to be around me and to be in my life. It's allowed me to build my friend group the exact way that I want to do it, and all the different things. And all I'm saying here is that when you build, there's something about the $100,000 a month mark, the $1 million a year business, that really like separates you from a lot of other people in the business world, and also just allows you to get yourself around more people who are like-minded. So like for me, that's like really what it allowed me to do, and just start to shape my life in a way that I actually wanted to. And it gave me that control because of having extra money and having extra time. So I'm going to show you exactly how I was able to do that and share with you the system that I've been implementing in all of my clients' businesses that have been allowing them to do insane things. Like we've had 7 people in 2 months hit their first $100,000 month from using the same exact system. So like, I don't know how many people you guys are, these other people's coaching programs are having get the outcome they want, but we only sign up 10 people a month. So that's 7 out of 20 people in the 2-month time period that are hitting 100K. That's kind of impressive in my opinion. So I'm pretty impressed about it. That's why I want to share this with you guys and basically talk to you guys about what we're doing. So obviously what you're looking at here on screen is a pretty ugly drawing of what a wholesale business that does $100,000 per month looks like. You have a marketing channel, you have lead management functions, you have acquisitions functions, and you have dispo processes and TC processes. And then basically you have a lead that goes into marketing. It gets qualified by lead management. It gets given an offer by acquisitions. The deal gets sold and closed by dispo TC. And then you restart over the entire cycle and you repeat this over and over again. And that is literally in a nutshell what a $100,000 per month business looks like. This is nothing groundbreaking. You guys already know this. But what I want to share with you is how each component affects this $100,000 per month mark. So I'm going to share with you a couple things that common things I see people doing wrong, and then things that you should be doing in order to fix that. So for example, with marketing, let's just zoom into marketing here. The main things I see people doing wrong here are you're not tracking your KPIs. If I ask you, hey, what's your ROI for cold calling? What's your ROI for texting? What's your ROI for PPC? Most people would have no idea, one, what even ROI means, just for you guys to know. It's return on investment. But this is the one piece of information that you have to know because it allows you to make decisions on everything you are doing in the business. Because if you spend $1, you need to fully understand exactly how it produces $5 on the other side. And you need to know, is $5 good or is $5 bad? And the only way to understand that is to know how the full business funnel looks like so that you can adapt and make your business more efficient as it needs to be made. So you have to track all your KPIs. And if you don't, and if you do that, then what it will do is you'll feel way more comfortable spending money on the marketing. And when you have to spend $10, $20, $30,000 a month to hit 100, 150, 200K a month in revenue, you're not going to be so stressed because you're like, yeah, I understand exactly how this all works. I understand that when I spend this dollar, this is how the business works. This is exactly all the indicators that are going to take place. So you have full confidence in spending more money to scale your business, to know that it's going to get you the outcome that you want. And that's why KPIs are so crucial. And like, there's a million different marketing channels that you could use. It doesn't matter which one you use. The people who are hitting $100,000 per month have one really good channel, and they have a secondary channel that they either just started or that is adding a little bit more business into their pipeline. So most people are doing it off one channel that they're going really deep on, and then sometimes they'll have a second channel. And that's literally it. You don't have to have 10 channels. The biggest mistake I see is people actually, when they get started, they're like, they want to increase their marketing budget. The way they do it is they spend it on 10 different marketing sources. And that just doesn't work because it adds way too much complexity into the business way too early. You really should take your 3K budget for cold call and make it 5K, and then take that 5K and turn it into 8K and slowly step it up. And then once you get to $10,000, $20,000 where you start to see a diminishing return in your ROI because you track your data, then we can start to look at, hey, maybe it makes sense for us to start a new marketing channel. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, right? And that is how you have to make the decision. And it can't be just something that you just go off the cuff and say, let's do PPC, let's do PPL, let's do Facebook, let's do SMS. I want all these different leads. That's not really how it works. And if you do that, it's gonna be really challenging to ever scale because there's just so many complexities going on in the business right now. And so in the two pillars of the Profit Accelerator system, which is the system that we use to help our clients scale to $100,000 per month, there's two parts to it. You have the entire process here of exactly how we scale your business. So all the different things, the roadmap for you to implement in your business. You can see all these different things that you can do to transform your business from where it's at to $100,000 per month cash printing machine. And that's like the system. So that's one part of it. The other part of it, and this is why KPIs are so important, is because the other part is the consult side, the one-on-one coaching side. And the only way that we're able to coach someone specifically is if we go and get your KPIs installed day one, so that we can make decisions once we get 30 days into the process. Because most of the beginning part is all getting the foundational pieces installed and then making decisions with KPIs later. We've seen these businesses hundreds of times. So you don't need numbers when you come into us. That's literally what we specialize in, is getting numbers installed in your business for you. So you don't have to even think about it. They just start tracking, and then we just all start making decisions together and making the right decisions, because the quality of our decisions are going to affect the amount of money that we make. So don't feel like you have to have your entire operation buttoned up before you come to us. We're literally dialed in on all those different things that you need. But 0 to 1 for what you need to do if you want to get this dialed in is start tracking your KPIs so you can make data-driven decisions and choosing which marketing channels you want to spend more money. And so the next section we're going to be going over is lead management. Lead management is essentially just going to be the qualifying and the follow-up of leads that are not getting offers and highly motivated. So basically, these people are cold calling highly motivated individuals in the CRM. The biggest thing I see with most of our clients who come on board with us is they don't have a lead manager. So the acquisitions manager or themselves, because a lot of times the business owner is the acquisitions manager, is doing all the follow-up and doing all the offers and running the business, selling the deals, spending money on marketing, doing the admin work, doing everything. And so a huge portion of the time, like if you were to see like where is most of the time spent for a business owner, it's spent on doing follow-up with unmotivated leads and calling unmotivated leads all day long. And then if they'll maybe have one or two motivated sellers they talk to per day. And so what we need to do is we need to install lead management so that we can remove your bottleneck of time. We need to buy back your time. And the way that we're going to do that is by bringing in someone who can do all that easy follow up, that can qualify the leads for you and pass them off to you. So those two people you're talking to per day, you're still doing that. Maybe it turns into 3 or 4 because you have one person solely focused on follow up. So for whatever reason, maybe your follow up's stacking up. Like that person will never let it stack up because they're always going to be on top of calling those leads. And so you should be able to get to talking to more motivated people and spend a quarter of the time doing it. So if you talk to 4 people a day max, and that's all you had to talk to, think about how many extra things you could go and do with your free time. You could go and start doing innovations. You could go and start building processes and systems. You could start to scale your business out in a way that's so robust that you will not have the ability to fail. And that's why one of the first moves we almost always make with one of our clients is to hire them a lead manager. We just had it 3 times in the last 30 days where we hired someone, a lead manager, on the first call we had with them. And then from that one lead manager, they literally 2x their business because they were able to buy back their acquisitions team time or buy back their own time. The other problem I see with this is like, one, you're like, oh, Chandler, like I need to hire a lead manager. I get it. Cool. I get it. But like, what are they going to do? How am I going to train them? So that's like a whole problem in itself. But you need a couple things. Is you need a sales script and you need a process for them to follow and you need a CRM that's dialed in. If you have these 3 things, then you're going to have a very simple system where they're going to be able to have the same exact conversation every single time, meaning that the same exact leads are going to get passed off to you every single time. So you're only going to talk to motivated sellers and you know exactly who's getting talked to and how they're getting spoken to because the CRM is dialed in. So you know exactly what cadence you're calling with the right people. So for example, when we did not have this in our business, we really struggled on holding our team accountable to make sure they called the right people. So like some days we get 1 appointment, some days we get 5, 0, other days we get 0. And we had no idea how this all worked. And I remember specifically this one time, we had 2 lead managers and we were getting about 20 appointments a week total. We hired 2 more because we're like, dude, if we hire 2 more, that's 4 total. We'll get 40 appointments a week, no doubt. Well, we hired 2 more and we actually ended up getting like 12 appointments a week because we messed up this entire thing with our CRM. We fumbled the bag and basically limited the amount of good leads to our best people and realized that, oh my gosh, like the CRM is like literally one of the most important pieces to this process. Like not only do they need a good sales script, but if they don't have a good CRM and the structure is really bad, then like, how are we going to make sure the right people are getting called by the right callers, right? So it's super, super important. So if you got to make sure you dial in your CRM. And once we got the CRM dialed in and we figured out how to actually do the lead management process, we went from hoping we get appointments to knowing like, oh, dude, like we're going to get 2 or 3 appointments a day, no matter what, because we know our team is going to make 45 calls and they're going to set someone up on our calendar who's motivated. And then that's just like a game changer for the business because once you automate that front end, you have so much more time to just go and do acquisitions. And then you don't have to focus on like, hey man, I got to figure out lead management. Now I got to go and call the seller and figure out how to go and give them an offer. And then you got to problem solve some negotiation. You don't have to deal with all that. Your life simplifies because the front pieces, the marketing and the lead management are now automated. And all you have to do as the business owner is do acquisitions or train your acquisitions guy, and then do dispositions or train your dispositions person. And this is just an absolute huge efficiency add to the business. Okay, so not only is lead manager just going to buy back your time and make it a little bit better for you to specialize yourself in just giving offers and have a specialized lead manager who's only doing those diagnosis calls, but you're also going to allow yourself to have like 20 hours a week of free time where you're going to be able to focus on working on the business and not in it. And when you have 20 hours a week to work on the business, doing 1 task per week, which is like implementing the Profit Accelerator system so that you have the foundation to grow to $100,000 per month, it just is a complete game changer. Because in my belief, what having a lead manager does for most people is it allows them just to do the same things they're doing in acquisitions, the same things they're doing in dispo, but then pull that time back, that 20 hours a week or so that you're doing all of the follow up in, and then just work on the business in that time. And that's going to help you grow exponentially. All right. So after we do lead management, obviously the next phase is going to be acquisitions. In acquisitions, the biggest issue I see, and I remember having this conversation with my business partner, and we were talking, and I said, "Dude, we need a sales process." And he goes, "You can't make a sales call processed out. Salespeople don't follow processes." And this is when we were like 20 years old. And I was like, "Dude, I don't know if that's true or not." And then we watched the video, and it was literally this guy, Eric Brewer. You probably know him at the time. You probably know who he is now. But he was like, "You got to make a sales process, and like, here's how you do it." And he like talked to us. It was like a private mastermind we were in, and he was telling us about it, and we were like, "Oh my god, it's so easy, it's so true." And like all the things that we were struggling with, like we just completely went away with having a sales process. So like what we were struggling with and dealing with is like we had one acquisitions guy who was one of our best friends from college, and we had trained him up over a long period of time, and he got really, really good. Like he closed 10 deals, like closed deals in 1 month. That's kind of absurd for one guy to do. I would put him up against anyone of how good he was at closing it over the phone. But then we hired two more people. So we had three because that's what we thought we should do. We were doing 100K a month or so. And deal size is way smaller because this is before we were doing innovations, which I'll talk about in a bit. But we didn't have a way to like train people. We just like would listen to their call and be like, "Dude, say this, say that, dude, say this. Here's how you comp it, say that, boom, boom, boom." And it's like complete disaster. We started training these other people. When we created a sales process, what we realized is that we needed to have like a framework that was like 80%, like this is the 80-20. Like if you follow the process, this is like the 80-20 to get the outcome you want, which is get the seller to sign the contract. And then advanced training was after the fundamentals, which is the process, were dialed in, could be taught. So we were able to take basically our best guy, replicate a process around him, and then add that into the two new guys we hired and make them both performing as well, which allowed us to go from 150,000 or so a month to 250K a month over the next 6 months, just by being able to triple our sales staff, which allowed us to increase our marketing, increase our team and everything as a whole, and then do way more deals. So what we did was we created a sales process, which allowed us to grow substantially because we were able to scale sales. And if you want to scale a wholesale business, you have to be able to scale sales, because if not, you're completely hosed. If you can't replicate yourself out of the sales seat, you're going to be capped at somewhere between 50 and 100K per month, depending on the market you're in and the business model you run. So once you've created a sales process, one, you're going to be able to replace yourself. So like no more cherry picking leads, because dude, let's be honest, we're all cherry picking leads if we're in the acquisition seat, because that's just what we do. I see it every single day when we talk to new clients. So it's super common, and it's something that you need to stop doing because it's a bad habit. And the only way to stop doing that is by having processes built out for your sales team to follow to a T. So now you have someone who you can plug into your system, a repeatable system on how to buy homes at a discount. You can just plug anyone into that. That's going to change your business forever, because now you'll have location freedom. So if you're doing in-person appointments, you don't have to go in person anymore. You can manage your team from wherever. That one of my clients, Tyler, who operates in Virginia Beach, he moved out to Colorado because he didn't want to live in Virginia Beach anymore after he hired an acquisition guy. You can do whatever you want, right? It's your business, and you can do it as much as it's your business, and you can run it however you want. But the key piece is you have to have the acquisitions guy to buy back more time freedom and have location freedom, which ultimately will unleash the capacity for the business to grow way past $100,000 per month. All right, let's talk about dispositions and transaction coordination. So this is really the redheaded stepchild of your wholesale company, almost guaranteed. You just don't, everyone says if you get a good deal, it sells itself, which I 100% do believe. However, if you have a way to monetize your deals at the highest level, aka selling them on the MLS, or selling them not to people outside of your one or two local fix and flippers who you just have a relationship with, you're going to be able to make way more money. So for context, we hired a dispo person. Immediately, that dispo person countered almost every single person. This is without us doing any teaching or telling her to do this or anything like that. She just started countering every single deal. And we got $5,000 more profit on every single deal selling to the same list. So obviously we didn't do anything special. We kind of got lucky. We just hired a great salesperson. But if you hire a really good person, we took our deal size from about like 12 or 13,000 to like 17-ish thousand from literally just hiring a dispo person and having them counter every offer. We had no process. We just hired someone in that position and told them, hey, sell these properties for the most. And that's literally all she did all day. And it absolutely crushed. So that's huge, especially if you do 50 deals a year. 50 times 5 is $250,000. So that's pretty big. Then what happened was not only did we get a dispo TC person who could focus on countering all the offers, negotiating, having a sales process on the back end, which now we built out. Before we were just kind of like winging it cowboy style, as most of you guys probably do now. It's still how I like to roll, but I got to force myself to make processes and stuff because I know it's better. But once we started listing on the MLS, we went from around that 17 to 20K average deal size. And I remember vividly, it was the month we started closing all of our MLS deals that we got, because it takes about 60 days to go from contract to close. Our average deal size that month was $47,000. So we went from like 20-ish K average deal size to 47,000 just from changing one thing. So that's a kind of a ginormous change. We didn't have to do any more volume, any more deals at all, and the business doubled. So what that tells me is, hey, our marketing didn't change. Hey, our lead management didn't change. Hey, our acquisitions didn't change. But our dispo method changed, and our exit strategy became to actually take properties and put them at their highest and best. And we made tons more money. So if you were able to take your deal size and double it, that's literally all profit. You would go from, let's just say, making $20,000 a month profit in your business to making $40,000 a month profit. Actually, probably more than that, because if you're making 20K a month profit, you're probably doing 40K, 30 to 40K. So if you were just to go from doing 30K to 60K and your expenses didn't change, you would just add $40,000 of profit. So you would go from, or sorry, not 40, you would add $30,000 of profit. So you'd go from making 20 to 50, which is absolutely absurd. That changes your life completely. If you go from making $250,000 a year to making $600K a year, you can literally start to do whatever you want. You can spend money like an idiot and it still be fine. So like this one piece is literally going to change your business forever. And like you will honestly ask yourself, like, why do I even wholesale after you start doing this strategy? Like people say, oh, what's your buyer's list? What's your dispo process for off market? I don't really have one, because if it's an off market deal where it's like we have to buy it with 2 points of access, now that we've made so much extra money from doing the MLS strategy and have so much experience in the retail market, we're just going to wholesale literally everything, because it makes no sense to wholesale it for 20,000 when I can wholesale it for 60 or 70 or 80, depending on what market you're in. And like in Denver, in Colorado, like I have friends here who literally do wholesales for $100,000 every time. So if you just bought one deal a month, like you're making $100,000 a month. Like it's really just kind of like overpowered. So like what you got to do is you got to get away from selling to your local fix and flippers as soon as you possibly can. And the sooner you do that, the sooner you'll start to make tons of money in your business and really be able to like level up in real estate. Because like wholesaling is like step 1. That's like the entry level. I would say novations are step 2, and then wholesales, flippings are like step 3. And then after that, you've kind of mastered the business. Maybe you got to do creative. Maybe you want to do that. Or you can start going into bigger asset classes like land, going into multifamily, or start to focus on something that you care about. That it's a much bigger purpose for you, like a different business, like coaching, like whatever you want to do. This allows you the avenue to build that business to a consistent, predictable $100,000 per month to do whatever that is that you want to do. So once we've gone through and really optimized each 4 of these pillars and taken you through all the different roadmaps for the Profit Accelerator to scale your business and scale yourself out of the day-to-day, you've honestly become a manager of the business. And it's all about becoming a great leader and networking with other people at a high level to grow from there. So get to $1 million, do the business the right way and copy and paste someone's model of what's worked for them. And so if we were really to sum it up here, if you're able to implement KPIs in your marketing and really simplify the business from the front end perspective so that you only have 1 or 2 different marketing channels to work with, knowing which one's to scale, which one's not to scale, then that's going to be huge for the marketing pillar. For the lead management pillar, if you dial in your CRM, get new automations, get processes in place that are simple, repeatable, and able to be followed simply by someone else, that will buy back all of your time, tons of time weekly, then that is going to be huge. If you don't have a lead manager, get one. It's just, I promise you, you have to get one because it will change your business forever. The third thing is acquisitions. If you're able to pull yourself out of the acquisition seat by creating a sales process and then plugging someone in to that repeatable system you've created to buy homes at a discount, then you will be able to elevate yourself almost fully out of the business, where maybe the only thing you have left is a little bit of dispo work, which can be easily replaced by one person. And once you've done the first three, you're out of marketing, you're out of lead management, you're out of acquisitions. You now have to get rid of dispo TC, which is just hiring one person to manage both tasks and be the owner of dispo and TC. And this rounds out your team for $100,000 per month business and creates you as the manager, as the leader of your organization. And now that you become the manager of your wholesale business, it allows you to go and have full financial flexibility and freedom, time freedom, and then location freedom to live wherever you want to live, to do the things that you care about doing, and to spend the time with the people who matter to you. So if you're a wholesaler and you're looking to scale your business to a consistent and predictable $100,000 per month and really ready to take your business to the next level, then just go down below this video in the description and click that book a call link down below to set up a time to speak with my team. And on that call with my team, we're going to give you the exact roadmap on how you can implement this system in your business. So again, if you're looking to take your business to the next level, really start to become a true CEO and get the time freedom that you deserve and that you started entrepreneurship for, then just go down below this video, book a call with my team, and we will give you the exact roadmap that we just went over of how this relates to you specifically. So without further ado, see you guys in the next one. Peace.